Fleetwood Mac. I remember you liked them. Hey, so we talked about circles, and I had you do some stuff to kind of preview ellipses, and so you kind of got a little bit of both there. I'm going to go back to this and find my ellipse right there. So this is kind of what I had you look at, and you were supposed to right click on the X. Hopefully you're able to get that to work and get it to trace. And then if you hit the little play button down here at the bottom, it's going to trace out some stuff here like that, and let it go all the way around. There we go. Okay, so this is tracing out an ellipse, and we have some things that we want to notice. Okay, first of all, we have 2 points here, F2 and O. Okay, and those points are important to all conic sections. Okay, those 2 points are called focus points. And the big thing about a focus point in an ellipse, and I'm going to see if I can get this to work on here. If not, we're going to do a little activity, and you get to do it too, because I think you'll be able to do it with, I'm sure you'll have everything you need. And so let me get this set up here to see if we can pull this off. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to. Yeah, oh, there's that, and then here to here, yep, there's that. And what I want to do is measure those 2 lengths. All right, so I got a length there at 2.02. I got a length there at 2.05. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and add those up. All right, so let's see if I can do that. Man, if I can do that on here, that would be pretty awesome. Let's see. So I want to add up. Maybe it'll let me. Let me try it here. See, I think I'm going to need a keyboard. And if I plug my keyboard in, I'm probably going to lose a lot of stuff. But let me try. So what I want to do is I want to take K plus J, I, and I think I got to set that equal to something. I lost where it is. K plus I. Maybe if I just hit enter, it will work. Let's see, it looked like it did. I just got to find K plus I someplace up here. I wonder if it's, yes, it's A. So it's right here. I'm going to click on that and see if I can get that to, I don't know why this did that. And let's see if I can drag this. Sometimes I can grab that and drag it out. That A value there. Let me see if I can drag it. It won't let me. So hopefully you can see that. Now what happens is that if we spin this around again, I think I just have to rotate it by F. All right. That 4.26A value stays the same. All right. A lot of things are changing. Okay, but that number right there, that 4.26, that was right there that I just messed up on. Okay, that stays the same. Okay, so in this, boom, there we go. The distance we say from a point on an ellipse to one focus point, and that distance to the other focus point, if we add those up, we're going to get an ellipse. All right, it's always going to be a constant. All right, so the sum of those 2 distances from a point on an ellipse to the foci points is always a constant. All right, and that constant is going to mean something to us here in a little bit. So that is the big part about an ellipse. All right, so I'm going to go back and get rid of that and go into here, and let's do some talking about some more about ellipses. Oh, that was pretty cool. Conic sections are kind of neat things, but you know, for a math guy, right? All right, so let's write down an ellipse down here. I spell these darn ellipses wrong every single time, basically. So I'm going to look to get it right. I was about to spell it right. Oh my goodness. So, an ellipse. What are we talking about? A little better. So let's go like this. Let's go like this. Let's put a point P on an ellipse. Let's put a point F there. We'll call F F1. We'll put a point here. We'll call it F2. And I'm going to change this color to this. There we go. So here's the deal with an ellipse. All right. So for any point on the ellipse, for any point P, the sum of PF1 plus PF2, oh you bugger, no, that's not my, there we go, F2, come on, is always equal to a constant. Alright, that's for any point P on an ellipse. Alright, the sum PF plus P2 equals a constant F1.
Learn it. Know it.
And
Live it.
F2, come on, are the foci. Foci. So if I don't press it hard enough, I don't get it to write, and if I go, then it kind of makes that noise. Are foci points. There we go. Okay, so there's that. All right, so now I'm going to scoot this down a little bit. Oops, draw. All right, so then with the circles, remember we talked about having a standard form and a general form, all right, of an ellipse. Standard form. Looks like this. So we're going to have x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. All right. But there's two ways of writing it in standard form. Okay, the other one looks like, I want to make sure because I get it right with the book, and yes, that's what I thought. Y squared over a squared plus x squared over b squared equals 1. So these are both standard forms. And you might say, well, what's the difference really? Well, the difference is that we have x squared over a squared, y squared over b squared. Here we have y squared over a squared and x squared over b squared. So in an ellipse, we might have noticed, if I go back to this guy, that, let me see if I can trace this. There we go. Okay. We might have noticed that of course, an ellipse is elongated, right? So it's longer one way than it is the other way. It makes it more of a, not as circular. So let's see if I can take this point and move this out just a little bit. One of these points I can move. Come on. It's not going to let me do it on my tablet very well. But one of these points we could be able to move, and I wish I could do it. And if I can later, I'll show you. But the point is that it's a little longer one way than it is the other. So when you graph some of these, or when we take a look at them graphically, there's going to be one that's going to be a little longer than the other. I'm going to change this to this color so that I can use a couple different colors here. There we go. I like that. So then let's take a look at, for example, x squared over 9 plus y squared over 4 equals 1. So there's our standard form. All right, now A is right here. A is always longer than B. So A is greater than B all the time. All right. So in this case, since this is 9 and 9 is bigger than 4, that's got to be a squared. So then a is 3. All right. Square root that, b is 2. So when I draw my ellipse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to draw this. So I'm going to go 3, and since the larger number is underneath the x, that means that I'm going to go on the x-axis 3 units from the origin. Okay, 3 units from the origin. Now b is underneath the y, so I'm going to go 2 on the y-axis. And here is my ellipse. All right, right there. There's the ellipse. It goes longer along the x-axis because the a, which is always bigger, is underneath the x. So one of the things that we would write here are these vertice points. These are vertice points, they call them. So the vertice points are going to be plus or minus 3, 0, and 0 plus or minus 2. So that is an ellipse. Now, the other thing, remember, that is of importance to us are the foci points. Okay? So the foci points, we need to figure out, well, how do we find those? Because those are important. Well, there's a little relationship that says if you take a squared minus b squared, you're going to get c squared, where c is that focal distance from the center. All right? So c is the focal distance from the center, right here. This would be what the c is. C is going to go in that direction. So in this case, I'm going to do a little work here. So I got 9 minus 4 is equal to c squared. So c is equal to square root of 5 because it's c squared. Well, square root of 5, what the heck is that? Well, square root of 5 is just a hair over 2, so that would be right about there and right about there. And it's always on that long axis. All right? So I'm going to put over here that the focus point, F1, and it doesn't matter which one is which, is the square root of 5, 0, and F2 is equal to negative square root of 5, 0. All right? Whew. So there's a lot of things here. We're not even quite all the way done, because here's what happens. This axis, since it is the longest axis, we call that the major axis. Major axis. And this one here, I'm going to do in rainbow colors right there. Okay, that one is the minor axis because it is the smaller. Kind of makes sense. Major, bigger, minor, smaller. So just in that one little problem that looks like a mess right now, we got an ellipse, right? Elongated along the x-axis because A is bigger and A is underneath the x. I got vertice points. I got foci points by using a squared minus b squared equals c squared. That's always what you use to find focus points in an ellipse. Major is long, minor is short. Whew. Man, that was a lot. Let's try another one. So this time, let's lead out with a y squared. So we're going to go y squared over 16, okay, plus x squared, all right, over, let's go with, we'll go with 9, I guess, equals 1. Okay, now it's always equal to 1 in the standard form. The general form is not quite that way. So here's what we have. I want to do the exact same thing. We're going to graph it. We're going to find the vertice points. We're going to find the foci points. We're going to, okay, we had just a tad bit of a problem there, but we're back. live here. Well, kind of live for me anyway. So I'm going to draw this. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do a vertices, foci. We're going to sketch it. We're going to figure out everything here. All right, so there we go. So let's go ahead. Notice now that we have the 16 underneath the y squared and the 9 underneath the x squared. So the 16 is larger. That means that that's A. All right, so that means that our ellipse is going to be elongated along the vertical y-axis. So I'm going to put a point here at 4 because I'm going to square root that. 4 and 4, square root that, that's 3 and 3. So my vertices are there. So I'm going to write that. Vertice 0, comma, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 3, comma, 0. There's my two vertice points. I got those figured out. Now I need to find my foci. Remember, I'm going to take a squared minus b squared. So I'm going to go 6 minus 9 is equal to c squared. 16 minus 9 is 7. So I get 7 equals c squared. My focus points are going to be along the major axis. That's the long axis. So that's going to be 0, comma, plus or minus. Since that's a c squared, I got to get the square root of 7. I think I'm going to just erase this and give myself just a little bit more room. Here we go. Plus or minus 7. Just like that. So there is my ellipse. All right, with my vertice points, my focus points, and my sketch. The major axis, remember, is going to be long this way. The minor axis would be long this way, okay, because the major is longest, so it has a distance of 8, whereas the other one has a distance of 6. So that's how we determine that. Whew, so those are two ellipses. Now I published something here separately that I showed you on. So I'm going to insert that in here, and then I'm going to talk about what we just saw there. All right, so hopefully what you saw on that one is that when you take those two focus points and you bring them together, all right, the ellipse becomes more circular. And if you spread those focus points apart, the ellipse becomes more elongated. So when we have a situation like this, come on, and our focus points are right here, right on top of each other, like that, that means we're going to get more of a circle. All right, so that's why circles are really considered ellipses. They're just special kind of ellipses. So circles and ellipses are circles are part of an ellipse. They're just that the focus points come together and create that center point, and therefore we get that radius right there. So that is circles and ellipses, and that's what I wanted to show you, is that becomes differently. Let's see. I thought it would be good to do one other thing here, and we're going to have to set that up. So here's what you're going to need to do it. You're going to need a piece of paper. It doesn't matter whether it's white paper, lined paper, whatever colored paper you got. You're going to need some string or thread. Not a lot, all right? So don't go getting a lot. A pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. And I want to try setting this up and filming it, and then you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to try to do it for you.
Is this
all right?
great?
And you guys can do it together, and we'll talk about that. So it's kind of a cool thing. So go ahead and see if you can locate some paper, a piece of string or thread, a pencil or a pen, doesn't matter, and some tape. And then I'll show you, actually let me show you what we're going to do here, and then I'll get ahead and get it set up myself. So on your paper, let's say this is your paper, all right, you're going to put a point here and a point here. All right, we'll call this one focus point number 1. We're going to call this focus point number 2. And you're going to take your string, let's make this our string, and we're going to create ourselves a smiley face like that. All right, and we're going to put some tape, we'll call this our tape color. We're going to put some tape there and some tape there to hold down the string. Now, that's what you want to make sure you got the string held, not too much tape because the string's going to kind of move. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil, and we'll make this our pencil, and we're going to stick it right there, and we're going to pull that string tight, and then we're going to swing it around, all right? So I'm going to demonstrate that for you, show you how that works, and you can do it too, and then we're going to talk about it. So you want to set it up like this, so we have the paper with the string, all right, and a pencil or a pen, doesn't matter what you use. The thing is you want to make sure, of course, that you have enough room on your paper because you're going to hold this tight and go around it. So I'm going to put my pen right here. I'm going to pull that tight, and then I'm going to trace around. All right, you might lose it a little bit over here on the side, but that's okay. And you're going to hold it down. It's going to be tight, keeping it tight, going all the way around over here on this side. Alright, you want to keep it tight, go around a little bit more, and that's what it should look like. Alright, good. That's it, how you just hit. And let me put those focus points back on there so they look a little better because I didn't like the way they were. I want to put them in red. So I want to put a focus point here and put a focus point here. There we go. I like that better. Now I want to switch back to the orange. I had that string that went around. Let's see, I think I had that in orange. Maybe I had it in this red color, come to think of it. So I had the tape here, so when the string goes that way and goes that way, and I don't want all these scribbly things all around here. I'm getting all kinds of crap today. So we go like this, and it looked a little bit more like that, except a little not so elongated over on this side. So I'm trying to get it to be as good as I can here for you. Alright, let's try this again. So I'm going to swing it here and swing it there. That's not too bad. So it looked a little bit like that. Alright, and then I said, well, we got a point here. I think I put that in blue. Let me get that here, back in here. So I'm going to put a point here, point P. And then I talked about this distance and this distance to those focus points. There they are, and there they are. So if I take this point P and I lay it down so that it is now over here. All right, there's P. So then this distance, okay, comes over and goes right to here. So what I'm going to try to do is make that a little bit thicker. Let me go with this blue so you can see that. So that would be this distance all the way to there. All right. The F2 distance to P, all right, I want to make that a little different color. Let's go with this green. And that's this guy here. I'm going to lay it down right there. Okay. Now, so you're saying, big deal, what is that? Well, let's say that we take this green distance that I have and I move it away from there. All right. I took away my ellipse, doggone it. I had that good one too, huh? All right, so I'm going to take that green highlight that I have there and I'm going to shift it over to here because it's going to be the same distance. All right, just that I'm shifting it over to there. So what does that mean? Why did I do that? So this is now gone. So now if I take that blue, which goes all the way from F1 to the P point that's over here, and then I take this PF2 and I have it over on this side, all right, that means that that whole thing from here to here would be PF1 plus PF2. All right, that would be that whole distance. And you say, well, big deal. But remember that in an ellipse, right, this is our major axis, right? And that is our major vertice point, which just happens to be a distance away from that center point, right? Which means that that sum of this thing is actually 2a. All right, so this here, even though I'm trying to draw it, here we go, is actually 2a. So not only is it a constant, but it's equal to 2a. All right, so that's kind of cool. And I want you to make sure you got that because that's going to be important. Okay, I've taken up a lot of time. It's been kind of chunky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of some problems in the book, and I'm going to have you do those. All right, there are a couple of them that you got to write the equation. I want to have you play with those anyway. It talks about the major axis length and the minor axis length and the foci points. I want to see if you can do those. This is going to be a two-part, so don't turn it in right away because we're on Monday. We'll do more problems on ellipses. Don't forget to put your questions in the questions document, which I'll make the video for on Thursday, post for you on Friday. I'm not sure how much information you know about the whole furlough thing. Supposedly, it's me personally, I'm not sure that I'm going to be involved in that because I teach at PCC and there are some regulations as to what I can do and what I can't do. So I will kind of let you guys know if I am involved in it. Then technically I'm not supposed to answer any emails from the school or any of that stuff. So it's kind of a mess. It's just another thing, guys, you know, and we have to deal with it and make the best out of it. And I appreciate you guys doing that. So I'll kind of let you know as time goes if I'm around or not. But anyhow, Monday, we're going to add on to this. We're going to do some more stuff with ellipses. So, yes, work on it, but don't turn it in yet till Monday. All right, make sure you get your quizzes in if you haven't. I know you're itching for a chapter problem, and I'm kind of working on that with this. We'll see how things go. But anyhow, you guys have a great day. Bye.